Imagine waking up to notifications crashing your phone screen because two of the biggest stars in the entertainment world just did something so unexpected, so breathtakingly bold, that the entire internet literally shattered into pieces in a matter of seconds, and if you blink right now, you're going to miss the most explosive cultural moment of the decade. So keep reading every single word to uncover the truth. The morning air in the quiet upscale neighborhood hung heavy with a thick layer of morning mist masking the bustling streets below. Somewhere behind the high-security gates and the towering ancient trees stood a residence that usually remained entirely invisible to the outside world. This was the family home of Tian Xiwei, an actress whose smile had captivated millions across the globe. Today, however, that privacy was shattered into a million glittering fragments. A sleek black luxury vehicle drifted smoothly around the corner, its tinted windows gleaming under the pale morning sun. Inside that vehicle sat Zhang Linghe, a towering figure whose magnetic presence could command an entire arena with just a single glance. As the car came to a slow and deliberate stop right in front of the grand entrance gates, time seemed to stretch infinitely. The engine hummed softly before falling completely silent, leaving behind a charged atmosphere thick with anticipation. Inside the vehicle, Zhang Linghe adjusted the collar of his dark tailored jacket. His fingers brushed against the fabric with a practiced calm, though the rapid flicker in his eyes betrayed a deep internal storm of nervous excitement. He took a long, measured breath, closing his eyes for a brief second to center himself. Outside, the world was completely unaware, but the digital universe was already beginning to tremble. A stray delivery driver down the street dropped his clipboard, his jaw falling wide open as he recognized the iconic silhouette stepping out into the crisp morning air. Zhang Linghe stepped out of the vehicle with a quiet grace that felt almost cinematic. The sunlight caught the sharp angles of his jawline and cast a soft glow over his neatly styled hair. He wore a subtle expression of focused determination mixed with a hint of boyish hesitation. He walked toward the massive wooden front doors with steady footsteps that crunched softly against the paved pathway. Every movement was deliberate, every gesture weighed with the gravity of a moment that would live on in internet history forever. He raised his hand, his knuckles hovering just inches away from the antique brass knocker, pausing as if to let the magnitude of the action sink deep into his bones. Inside the house, the atmosphere was a stark contrast of warmth and domestic calm. Tian Xiwei was standing by the sunlit kitchen island, holding a delicate ceramic mug filled with steaming tea. Her soft, oversized sweater hugged her shoulders, and her hair was tied back in a comfortable, effortless knot. She was laughing softly at something her mother had just said from across the room. Suddenly, the sharp, resonant echo of a knock rang through the quiet halls. The laughter stopped instantly. The silence that followed was absolute, heavy, and profound. Her mother turned her head slowly toward the foyer, a questioning look crossing her face. Tian Xiwei froze, her fingers tightening slightly around the warm ceramic mug as her heart hammered violently against her ribs. Footsteps echoed softly from the hallway as the housekeeper moved to answer the door. Tian Xiwei set her mug down with a soft click and began to walk slowly toward the entryway, her curiosity warring with a sudden wave of sheer disbelief. As she rounded the corner into the grand foyer, the heavy wooden door swung open wide, revealing the tall, familiar figure standing framed against the bright morning light. The breath caught entirely in her throat. Her eyes widened in absolute shock, her lips parting slightly as she stared at the man standing on her family doorstep. It was not a dream. It was completely, undeniably real. Zhang Linghe offered a gentle, reassuring smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes, melting away the sudden tension in the air. He stepped across the threshold, bringing with him a rush of cool outdoor air and an undeniable aura of cinematic charm. Tian Xiwei recovered her composure with lightning speed, a brilliant, radiant smile breaking across her face, completely erasing her initial shock. She stepped forward, her arms opening in a welcoming gesture as the two greeted each other with a warm, easy familiarity that spoke volumes about the deep bond they shared away from the flashing cameras and the blinding glare of the public spotlight. Back outside, the digital world was already catching fire. A single grainy photograph, snapped from a distance by a sharp-eyed passerby, had found its way onto a major social media platform. Within 3 minutes, the post had accumulated 10,000 reposts. Within 10 minutes, the servers began to lag under the sheer weight of millions of concurrent users rushing to verify the unbelievable news. Hashtags bearing both of their names skyrocketed to the absolute top of the global trending charts, outperforming breaking news, political updates, and major sporting events combined. Fans across every continent dropped whatever they were doing, staring at their glowing screens in sheer disbelief, typing out frantic messages in all caps, demanding answers, celebrating wildly, and creating thousands of fan edits in real time. Inside the warmth of the family home, the initial shock had dissolved into a comfortable, lively atmosphere. Tian Xiwei led Zhang Linghe into the sunlit living room where her parents were sitting with expressions of pleasant surprise. Zhang Linghe bowed respectfully, his voice smooth and polite as he greeted the elders with genuine warmth and humility. He presented a beautifully wrapped gift, handling it with care and presenting it with both hands in a traditional display of profound respect. Her father's stern expression softened almost immediately, replaced by a warm, approving smile as he invited the young actor to take a seat on the plush cream-colored sofa. The conversation flowed naturally, filled with light laughter and shared stories that bridged the gap between their demanding professional lives and this quiet, grounded domestic reality. Tian Xiwei watched Zhang Linghe from across the room, noting the easy way he conversed with her parents, the respectful tilt of his head when her mother spoke, and the genuine humor in his laughter. It was a side of him that the public rarely got to witness, stripped of the glossy magazine filters, the heavy stage makeup, and the roaring crowds of screaming fans. He was simply a man visiting the home of someone very special to him, navigating the delicate dance of meeting the family with grace, charm, and an underlying current of deep sincerity. Outside, the neighborhood was beginning to notice the unusual gathering of luxury vehicles parked down the side street. Rumors spread like wildfire among the local fan clubs, and within the hour, a small crowd of dedicated admirers and curious onlookers began to gather near the outer perimeter walls. Security guards moved swiftly and quietly to manage the perimeter, ensuring that the privacy of the residents remained intact while the storm raged on outside. The sheer magnetism of the two stars had created a localized gravitational pull, drawing all eyes and all attention to this one specific coordinate on the map of China. Hours passed in a blur of shared meals, storytelling, and quiet moments of connection away from the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. The sun began its slow descent toward the horizon, casting long, golden fingers of light through the expansive glass windows of the living room, painting the walls in warm shades of amber and rose. Zhang Linghe stood by the window, looking out over the manicured garden, holding a glass of water. Tian Xiwei walked up beside him, standing close enough that their sleeves brushed softly against each other. They did not need to speak. The quiet understanding between them was louder than any roar of a crowd or any headline printed on glossy paper. As the evening approached, the time came for departures. The atmosphere grew slightly heavier, tinged with a quiet reluctance to break the peaceful bubble they had built over the course of the day. Zhang Linghe turned to thank Tian Xiwei and her parents, his expression sincere and deeply appreciative. Her parents walked them both to the front door, offering warm parting words and open invitations for future visits. The farewells were filled with gentle smiles and quiet nods of mutual respect, a testament to the strong positive impression he had left behind on everyone in the household. Zhang Linghe stepped back out through the grand wooden doors and walked down the pathway toward his waiting vehicle. He turned around just before opening the car door, offering one final, lingering wave to Tian Xiwei, who stood framed in the warm entryway light, her smile radiant and unforgettable. He ducked into the car, the heavy doors thudded shut, and the luxury vehicle glided away into the deepening twilight, leaving behind a neighborhood that would never be quite the same again. The aftermath of the visit hit the internet like a tidal wave of unprecedented proportions. Talk shows scrambled to rewrite their morning segments. Entertainment news outlets dispatched reporters to every possible angle to secure exclusive commentary. Fan communities erupted into massive digital celebrations, organizing charity drives in honor of the visit, trending custom artwork, and dissecting every single known detail of the afternoon down to the exact shade of the jacket Zhang Linghe wore. The cultural impact of the event was undeniable, proving once and for all that some moments are simply too powerful to remain hidden behind closed doors. This extraordinary event reminds us all that beneath the glitz, the glamour, and the relentless flashing lights of fame, real human connections still thrive in the quietest, most unexpected corners of our world. The world of entertainment will continue to spin, new dramas will air, and new stars will rise, but the day Zhang Linghe stepped through those family doors will forever remain etched in the collective memory of millions as a truly magical turning point. Thank you for diving deep into this incredible story with us. What are your thoughts on this monumental visit? Do you think this changes everything for the future, or is it just the beginning of a brand new chapter? Drop your comments down below right now. Share this article with every fan you know to keep the excitement alive, and stay tuned for more explosive updates as they unfold.